Welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Tiffany.
We're about to boldly go where no one's gone before because we're about to do Star Trek Green Lantern, The Spectrum War.
Ooh.
Because I'm implying no one's read it, but the fact is so many people read it, there's a sequel to this.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. So high were they on the viability of merging these two franchises together. And of course, how could they not?
They're both in space.
They are both in space.
There you go.
And they technically explore.
Right? And I guess, like, later versions of Star Trek would be more like space police in a way.
Yeah.
Like political police.
Right.
Yeah.
And Hal Jordan is also a captain.
Yeah. And he's from Earth.
Listen, it
It's
makes...
yeah, Earth is an important planet.
Yes.
Yes.
It makes as much sense as making Hulk and Batman fight because they're both named Bruce. So, there we go. This is written by Mike Johnson with art by Angel Hernandez. It takes place in another universe, so don't even worry about it.
Oh, really?
Oh.
No continuity. Just like, how can I raise the stakes? I know it's an alternate reality for everybody. By the way, it also takes place in the Kelvin timeline. I'm sorry.
An alternate Kelvin timeline.
Yes.
That's
A divergent Kelvin timeline. A divergence from a divergence.
Cool. So this was after the movie, obviously.
Naturally, yes. And while the IDW Star Trek series featuring the Kelvin characters was going on.
Right.
Oh.
Which does feature...
But it's not even,
not in
it's a
there.
divergent from that as well?
Yes. So the story opens with Ganthet, you know, the ponytailed cool dad of the Guardians.
Signified by his ponytail.
Naturally,
Right.
and his like affinity for humans and his willingness to skirt the rules.
Right.
And he is desperately running from a Black Lantern entity known as Necron. If you're familiar with Blackest Night, you know Necron is like the Black Lantern, and he controls death, and he can resurrect, you know, dead people and make them into Black Lanterns. He barfs up Black Lanterns, he gives them to dead corpses, they get reanimated, they remember everything, but they're also compelled. It's DC's zombies, pre-deceased, where they're zombies,
not
but they're not zombies. Well, they're as much a zombie as a reanimated corpse can be.
Yeah.
But also they are compelled by the will of Necron to be assholes.
Right.
You know, it's like if you resurrected like your fallen wife or best friend, they wouldn't necessarily be compelled to kill you.
Right.
But because they are under the thrall of Necron, they are.
They are.
Well, I mean, that could also mean they came out of the pet cemetery.
Naturally, yes. The ground is sour, and I guess you could say that Necron's, you know,
influence
is
is
sour.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You don't want to go down that sector.
No.
They come back wrong.
Yes. Sometimes dead's better. So anyway, Ganthet's being dogged by Necron. Clearly, it's like the end times. Things are not good. Ganthet is on the planet Mogo, who is, of course, his own Green Lantern member. Mogo seemingly is dead or inoperative. He's not
Is
working
he a
out.
Black Lantern now?
Well, you see, not yet. Or at the very least, he doesn't get caught up in it.
Okay.
So no. So instead, Ganthet uses the powers of the Spectrum, which is to say the Lantern Spectrum. Not just the green, but also the rest of them.
Right.
And he like harnesses their power to transport himself and seemingly Mogo as well into another universe. What universe is that? The Star Trek universe.
Cue the theme.
Right, because the Enterprise immediately opens the frame,
Yeah.
and they're exploring a sector when they happen upon this dead planet, which is, of course, Mogo. They transport down, and they find the withered dead husk of Ganthet
What?
and a few scattered rings.
How long has he been there?
He's been there not too long, just that Necron caught him and killed him.
Oh,
He
okay.
didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
And he didn't become a Black Lantern.
No.
Wow. That's actually pretty, that's good control for a villain.
Agreed. Yeah, usually you'd want to, like, turn everyone... No.
Yeah, you're just like, I'll turn my greatest enemy into the thing he hates. Oh, it backfired.
Right.
No, I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to kill
Naturally, it's an uninhabited planet. It's alien to this sector, so the captain and his entire bridge crew transport down into the surface.
Right. Of course, you got to bring the captain down there.
Yeah, and his first officer.
Well, he's
and his,
super curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to see it.
right. It just seems neat.
Yeah.
So they get down there and they find this cool dead alien and a bunch of jewelry, and they're like, whoa,
It's really cool to
Weird.
see them wearing spacesuits.
right? Well, because there's no atmosphere on this planet. It's like normally there is, because, it's Star Trek, so every planet has Earth-like atmosphere.
So it's the only planets they go to. Everything else is trash to them.
Yeah.
Right.
How do they know where on the planet to look?
I assume some sort of energy signature
I'm sure
is
that
coming
they-
off of the rings.
Spock does detect some kind of, reading on the surface of this planet, so they do go
So
there.
they go to the spot that he found.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They recover Ganthet's body.
They put it in a tube.
They put it in a tube, and they give it to Bones, and Bones has to check it out.
It's like, well, he's dead, Jim. He literally says that. Of course, that's the obvious joke.
Yeah, why
You got
not?
a skeleton man.
Ethan, you could write for Star Trek.
Apparently.
Yeah, hire this man. Yeah, he'll take the Kelvin timeline in some bold new directions where no one's gone before.
Yeah.
They recovered the rings, and they give them to Scotty and his annoying barnacle friend,
Yeah.
who I hate and will not regard in any way with a name. So Scotty's like, what's he giving me these things for? It's some kind of energy conduit. I don't know what they're supposed to be doing. You just give me some colorful jewelry and you expect me to know what's going on? So they're just looking at it.
Put it in the core.
Just stick it in the
throw it
core.
in.
Just throw it.
Engine.
Just see what happens.
Right, well, more or less that's what they do. Scotty decides to bathe them in tachyon fields just to see what happens.
Oh.
And they activate and immediately go to different members of the crew.
This
They-
sort of makes me feel like I could be a scientist in Star Trek. Like,
I mean,
Yes,
well,
you
most
would.
I
the
don't know what
computer
to
does
do.
most of the work.
I don't know what to do. Let's hit it with tachyons.
Let me tell you something. In 1987, they bring a woman whose specialization is in humpback whales to the future. They immediately give her a job.
Yeah, she may or may not be the most scientific person there.
And the job she's given is not stay on Earth and monitor the only humpback whale in existence. It's to go across the galaxy. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're good.
As literally between the time when she is brought to the future and after Kirk is demoted,
Yeah.
she gives them all of her information on humpback whales and
Yeah.
goes, good luck.
Yeah.
Well, they looked
Also,
up stuff
doesn't-
in books, I'm
Doesn't
sure.
she love Gracie so much?
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
She
but now that
slaps
she's in the
her
future,
boss.
she's like, oh, now I can
No,
go to
it's
space.
safe. Those whales are safe.
Yeah.
That sucks.
They're safe.
They're
It's fine.
safe. Yeah,
Listen,
nobody's gonna hump
hypocrite.
them in this utopian future.
She's not wrong, but shouldn't she be there for Gracie to monitor her activity?
Okay, she did her part
First
for
of
them.
all, that whale doesn't give a fuck about her.
Well, naturally.
We're not talking about
Second of-
human beings here.
Yeah. Second of all, if anything happens, they'll just bombard the whales with tachyons.
As is standard procedure,
That's-
apparently, in Starfleet.
Like, look, you gather a bunch of Starfleet scientists together, and something's not working. They're all going to be like, "Did you try bombarding it with tachyons?" It's the first thing I tried.
Yeah.
Well, right before I reverse the polarity.
Naturally. So anyway, they blast the rings go all over the place, and then suddenly a Klingon warship off the port bow,
no.
and they're being hailed by a new character named General Chang, who says, "Ah, Kirk, at last!" And you're like, "Oh my goddamn god,
Yes.
is this Christopher Plummer, General Chang?" First of all, yes. Second of all, is it General Chang somehow slipped through a wormhole from the original time? No.
It's
no,
just the,
he's Kelvin
It's
Timeline.
Kelvin
General Chang.
Timeline Chang, who looks, acts, and quotes Shakespeare just like the old General Chang.
well, that just
and
means that nothing can stop Chang in every version
Yes.
of
It's
their
inevitable.
timeline.
it's inevitable. He will always lose his left eye. He will always want Kirk. He will always love Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Literally, and he goes like, "Ah, Kirk." And Kirk's like, "Do I know you?" And he's like, "Oh no, but I know you, Kirk. I've been chasing you across the galaxy, old foe." And Kirk's like, "What?" And the reader's like, "Huh?" Like, let's say you're a Kelvin fan.
Yeah.
You're like, "I don't know who this guy is, and I don't have any affinity for him whatsoever." If
Yeah.
you're an old fan, you're like, "This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Who's this for?"
The Inquisitive.
You know, he was like that in Star Trek 6, though, because he shows up, he's like, "Ah, Kirk, I know you so well," and you're like, "I've never heard of you."
I've never heard of you. No, I studied your work, and
Yeah.
your aggression against the Klingon Empire is well documented.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the Christopher Plummer voice. I think I'm doing an okay job.
It's all right.
Something.
It's a thing.
It's not.
It's more like him than like a general Klingon.
Right.
I
Well,
guess.
it's not. It's not David Walker as Gorkin. It's like, Captain.
Yeah, he's a little more.
There's also a great Cardassian in the episode where Picard is kidnapped and tortured,
Yes.
and he's forced to, endure the lights. And he's like, "How many lights do you see?"
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
There are 4 lights.
There are 4 lights.
Yeah.
The energy output, like, increases tenfold. The rings explode with power, and then they zip all across the galaxy. I also guess they cause a hull breach because 3 of them leave the Enterprise, and no one gave them opening.
Right.
Well,
They
it's
didn't open the door
like a
for
tiny
them.
one.
Right. It's,
like
yeah.
a-
A pea-sized hole in any hull will destroy your ship.
They have auto force fields that go.
They do have
place
fields,
when
Yeah,
they
so
have,
it's
yeah,
fine. It's fine. So wait, does that mean that lantern rings are powered by tachyons?
Right?
In this
universe, it's more like tachyons don't hurt.
Is that gonna? Maybe Hal should try that sometimes.
Well,
like,
because
You could have bombarded them with anything.
Well,
and they
no,
would have
I think
responded.
maybe tachyons are close in an approximation to the energy surge from the power batteries. Because at one point, like, of course, other characters receive rings that are not the bridge crew of the Enterprise, and they will need power batteries to charge them. But maybe tachyons can also approximate
could do that,
kind of
okay.
thing. And in fact, there's actually a device that comes up later in the book in which there's only tachyons could possibly power them. So, anyway, a few members of the crew get the rings. Of course, General Chang receives a yellow ring from the Sinestro Corps of Fear.
I noticed all the bad rings went outside the ship.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the
It's not
good
like
rings-
Bones gets
listen,
rage.
I'm just saying the red ring isn't necessarily bad. I think
Yeah.
it's just misunderstood.
Sure,
Yeah, whatever.
sure, atrocitus. Chang gets the yellow ring. Chekhov gets the blue ring. Uhura gets the violet ring.
Naturally.
And Bones.
Because she's the girl.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Openly
Kirk
emotional.
should get that. He loves everybody. Any woman who
Yeah.
steps on that ship.
That's
There's a difference. There's no lust spectrum.
It's, you know.
But yeah, so Chekhov, Uhura, and Bones get rings.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, great, the least interesting characters get rings.
Well, they got to get something.
No,
to-
it's true.
It's too bad Scotty didn't get one.
I know,
He would have had a lot of fun making constructs.
Scotty has a good time anyway. We'll see where that goes.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, so
And Sulu, you can just sit down for this one.
Sulu gets a ring later. But so yeah, this whole happen. It's great. General Chang shows up. Aha! And then the rings show up, and everyone's like, "What?" Including Chang, who's like, "Oh, to be or not to be on my hand? That's the question."
Well, no, it is, though.
Oh well, but the play's the thing.
Okay.
So anyway, everyone's distracted, and then Hal Jordan Green Lantern shows up.
How?
Wh- I'm sure he's going to tell us.
He uses his ring to look for Ganthet, and he finds his body on the ship. And he's like, "You want to tell me why my dead friends?"
No, but how did he get here?
Well, the ring can transport between dimensions.
Oh.
Yeah. Same way Ganthet got there. I
Exactly.
guess.
Chekhov, of course, says something like, "Captain, I feel very, very strange."
That's why they made him have a ring. Because
So he can talk more.
Yeah.
And we can have him say hilarious things like nuclear vessels.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Chekhov's having an awesome time, which like pisses off Kirk in a big bad way.
Because he
It's
wants
like,
a
don't
ring.
take this. Like you should be taking this more seriously.
It's that.
Oh.
It's more, yeah. Well, Chekhov like flies around. He's like, "Look, Captain, I am totally."
Hey, you're a Starfleet officer. What are you doing? Flying around the ship.
Okay, whoa.
Oh,
hang-
excuse me. Kelvin Timeline Kirk. Not even regular Kirk,
No.
but Kelvin Timeline Kirk, who is constantly dabbing his nose from a previous fist fight you were in.
Yeah. I think
Well, I'm the
it's more.
captain.
I think he's saying that, but it's more like, I should have a ring.
Yeah.
Where's my ring?
Yeah.
So anyway, they're trying to get their bearings when Chang just like blasts out of his Klingon ship, and he's like, "Aha! Behold the rebirth of the Muktovar, an ancient predator alien from Kronos."
Yeah, Kronos.
Given glorious new life, he immediately figures out how to make a construct.
He immediately figures out he could go out into space
Yep.
and he can create a gigantic monster from
Yep.
his ring. Wow.
And by the way, the monster, the Muktovar, is a like exterior augmentation of the Klingon warship. So it's like the ship
wraps
flies.
around
The
ship.
yeah,
That's kind of cool.
it
That's
is
a
pretty
cool
dope.
idea,
Yeah. Eventually, Hal Jordan will take over command of the Enterprise and create a bigger Enterprise outside the little Enterprise. So you can see how creative and amazing Hal Jordan is.
Hal Jordan's like, okay, wait, I need to come up with something. Not a box. I know.
The same exact ship I'm in.
Yeah.
But bigger.
Right. So meanwhile, on the planet Gornar,
Oh no!
these lizard aliens,
Oh no!
also known as the Gorn, one of them receives the Red Lantern ring, and you get a cool Gorn Red Lantern.
Sweet.
See, you could have just gone like with another Klingon, but no.
Yeah, but no, Gorn.
Yeah.
That's
Why
awesome.
not? And like, listen, you know, they've come a long way since the arena.
Yeah.
I mean, like now they look. That would be the theme that would play when he receives his
I
ring.
think that's just the theme that plays constantly in this area.
Yeah.
It's like the #1 chart-topping song.
At all times.
Yeah.
On Gornar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Glaucon of Gornar. Remember that name well, because Glaucon's going to come up a lot. I'm kidding, he's not. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Ooh. It's a spooky book.
Garmanarno.
Jordan fights General Chang,
Oh.
because like he has experience with that.
Right, and it's a yellow ring. So it's like, oh, I got to fight the guy with the yellow ring.
Exactly.
I know to do that.
Exactly. So, you know, Kirk's like, okay, well, Sulu fire photon torpedoes at the bad guy.
Yeah. He's
And-
a Klingon. He's the bad guy.
Right,
Shoot him.
well, he did threaten them earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sulu's like, I'm sorry, our weapons are inoperative, Captain. And then Chekhov's like, don't worry, Captain, we can improvise. And like he augments the ship with his powers, and they like fire, you know, blue lantern
Yeah.
photons.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Uhuru's just like being tethered by Spock, who's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, don't go
So
anywhere.
what are you doing?
Yeah, flying around out of
So
space.
we still
is
haven't seen where the
illogical.
orange lantern or
No.
orange ring went.
That's right, we have not yet.
One left.
But we will. Can you guess what race receives the Greed Ring?
The Ferengi.
Yeah.
No!
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
it's the Ferengi, obviously.
No,
No,
the
it's
Ferengi.
the Kelvin timeline. There's no
The
Ferengi.
Ferengi still
Ferengi.
exists.
Yeah, but we're not doing the Ferengi. Okay, next one.
It's a different Ferengi.
It's the Romulans. The Romulans get the
Oh.
orange lantern.
Oh, all right.
I know. No, it'd be amazing.
Ferengi
if,
would
like,
be better.
Yeah. it
Quark
makes
is there.
way
He's
more
like, ha ha
sense.
ha ha.
Damn.
What's his money?
Oh,
gold
pressed latinum.
Yeah. It's like
So wait, it's gold
Think of the-
pressed latinum.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's made
it's
out of
latinum
gold?
that's pressed with gold.
It's pressed with gold. The gold is like useful for encasing the valuable thing, which is the latinum.
That's hilarious.
Latinum's like a liquid or a powder or something. You need to wrap
It's
it
like
in
it's
something.
like a chocolate candy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a chocolate coin.
Yes.
They keep Chang at bay, but
Mm-hmm.
then they decide like to commit a strategic withdrawal.
Okay.
Kirk's like, we don't know anything about this. I'm ordering a full retreat.
Right.
So they all bail, and Chang calls them cowards, and then we go to planet Romulus, where Praetor Decius is, you know, proselytizing to his fellow Romulans about how like they destroyed Vulcan, and now is the time for us to expand.
Ah.
And they're like, no, I don't know. And then he gets the orange lantern ring, and he slaughters all of the Romulans. And he's like, you're all weak. You don't know what you're doing. Meh.
No, I'm
So he
sorry.
totally remans it up. Jordan and Kirk meet. Jordan is like, so what the hell is this? You're all people from like Earth and stuff, but like, we don't have a Starfleet.
Right.
Like,
That's
are you
not
a
a thing?
are you like a secret NASA program? And Kirk's like, NASA?
Wait, so he doesn't know he's in an alternate universe?
Nah.
It's like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Which there is a great Star Trek Planet of the Apes crossover comic. That one is the original timeline, but it's like show crew and first movie Planet of the Apes. So Chang goes to the Klingon homeworld and he's like, counselors, I bring you good tidings. I've got the weapon that can bring the Federation to its knees. And they're like, what are you doing? And then he slaughters all of them and he's like, I'm in charge of the Klingon Empire now.
So the same thing that happened on Romulus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sinestro shows up and he's like,
What?
Stop. You work for me now.
Well, what is Sinestro doing in this universe?
Oh, didn't you know? He can transport here too, and he did.
Everyone's just going to this. You
Yeah,
know what? Our
literally-
universe is so lame. Let's go to the Star Trek universe.
Well, like, here's the thing. It's an alternate reality, you know. Everyone's dead. They make
Right.
a point
I guess
where
there's
like
no reason to stay there if Necron has converted everybody. To,
yeah, like did Necron take over the DC universe in this reality? Like did Necron kill everybody? Did the Blackest Night like win? Is that what
Maybe.
happened?
Wouldn't Necron be here if he killed?
Oh yeah, he
what's
killed
his name?
Ganthet. So
Ganthet.
he's-
So wouldn't he be in this universe?
Yeah, he killed everyone in the
Unless he
other
went
universe.
back.
He
and now
followed.
came
No,
to
yeah.
this
Well,
universe.
Necron followed Ganthet to the Star Trek universe and then killed him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he is here. So we're probably gonna see it.
Oh yeah, no, Necron's here.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's the villain of the book.
Yeah.
Oh
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
No, you thought it was General Chang.
Right.
General Chang is a joke.
Okay,
It's
literally.
a wink and a nod.
There's Larfleeze.
Yeah, Larfleeze shows up. Well, because like the you know because Darcius or whatever Dacius
Yeah.
Praetor Romulus is like having a good time and then Larfleeze shows up and he's like, well, you're not going to get far without this power battery. Exactly.
He's like, also, you better make me some cookies.
Right, some delicious Starfleet's cookies, which you can find over here. Jordan reveals like the tragic history of the death of the DC universe, where like Necron won and destroyed everybody.
And Darth Plagueis the Wise while he's at it.
Normally, you'd have the White Lantern, who can possess the White Lantern entity, would defend against Necron, but Necron killed Kyle Rayner, who would be and had been the White Lantern the last time.
So couldn't anybody, like, couldn't somebody else?
Well, you need to you need to bridge all of the spectrums together into one entity who can handle it and who's kind of like destined for that role.
Right.
Which of course they do at the end, but you know. Glaucon the Gorn is like slaughtering his own people. Apparently, like if you're a bad guy in the Star Trek universe and you get a ring of power, you immediately turn on your countrymen and take over. You just declare you're the winner, which I guess like you would. Because like everyone in Trek who is a bad guy is always like desperately clutching for power. You usually have to like subtly do it by like poisoning someone. But like in this case, it's like I have a ring of power with a personal shield. I'm just gonna kill you with my ring of power.
Right.
That's the end
And
of
that's it. He's not turning them into Red Lanterns.
No, he doesn't know to do that yet. Thankfully, Atrocitus shows up and he's like, "Well, I'll have to show you the ropes." Glaucon.
Does Dexter come?
No.
Damn it!
I'm sorry. Dexter, if you're not familiar, is the Red Lantern Blue Cat.
Okay, so wait. If they ever did this again, they could have done it with the TNG crew, and then Dexter could be there and Spot.
The Romulan, the Gorn, the Klingon. They all destroy their governments and declare themselves dictator, and then their DC counterpart shows up and says, "No, you work for me.
I have the lantern.
I have the lantern, and also like I know how to use it better than you."
Right.
Of course, like Chang is a general, so he like is kind of formidable, but Sinestro more or less like and he have a war of words, and you know they come to an understanding.
Sure.
So Chekhov's bouncing around outside the Enterprise. Kirk is of course getting more and more progressively pissed and annoyed at all this bullshit. When Star Sapphire shows up with Saint Walker of the Blue Lantern Corps, and she's like, "You gotta help us. We gotta get inside. Like Necron is coming, and he kicked the crap out of this pacifist." So they bring them aboard, and then of course like
Kirk's immediately like, "Hello."
On the border between the Alpha and Delta quadrants, another ship from the Federation is attacked by Glaucon and Atrocitus.
The border between the Alpha and Delta quadrants. That would be in the center of the galaxy because they're like diagonal from each other.
Yes.
Fuck.
Listen. I'm the writer, and I remembered 2 quadrants.
Yeah, the wrongest ones. Alpha and Beta. At least they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
No, I remember the Delta quadrant. So
yes,
I'm doing that.
Now here's the thing: where's the Borg?
They're in the Delta quadrant.
Yeah, there's no Borg in this book.
Otherwise, they would be Black Lanterns.
Yeah.
Yes, they would.
It'd be amazing if the Borg like assimilated Necron.
Well, yeah, and then the Borg cube became a Black Lantern, and then you had Mogo as the Green Lantern, and they had to like fight.
Yeah, sphere versus cube.
Yeah.
The age-old battle.
It's a terrible idea.
My arch nemesis.
So Glaucon destroys the USS Constellation in an impossible location of space because it's between the Alpha and Delta quadrant, which doesn't make any sense. And he does this as a declaration of war. Like the Gorn have declared war on the Federation.
Sure. And then Kirk stands in a room with a bunch of people who have way more power than he does.
Yep, and he feels completely
fumes
impotent.
internally.
Of course he does.
While also staring at Star Sapphire.
Oh, yeah. Well, she gives him every reason to do so. Meanwhile, Necron is busy because he goes to the vacant space where Vulcan used to be.
Oh, no.
And then reforms Vulcan.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Hal explains how like everything that they're up against is of course a no-win scenario, which of course Kirk's like, please.
Bitch, please.
Bitch, please. Yeah. I know. I am the king of no-win scenarios.
Yeah. I cheat, but
that's how you win.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's right.
Oh, he makes them out of constructs. They're not like physically. They're not there. He like makes a construct.
Oh, the Romulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Romulan makes he literally uses his orange lantern ring to create a new Senate of duplicates of himself.
That's way better than resurrecting the other ones.
Yes.
It's like, well, there has to be a Senate. Romulus is ruled by a Senate.
Yes.
So here we go.
But those are all you.
There's no law that says they can't be artificial constructs of one guy.
I guess that's true, but why would they make that rule?
Well, they didn't, and that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called a loophole, my friend.
Yeah. I'm just following the Kirk way here. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So, Larfleeze and Darcius or Decius.
Decius.
Yeah. So Larfleeze and Decius are like chatting. Larfleeze is kind of like, well, do you have anything I want? Because all he is all consuming.
Right.
And Decius is talking about like how the Federation stood in the way and how it's taken everything. And he's like, oh, so do you think the Federation has stuff I want? Like maybe I'll declare war on the Federation with you. Meanwhile, Scotty is like in the infirmary, kind of like he's getting better. He's kind of like on his ass, like with downtime.
Yeah.
So Scotty takes it upon himself to analyze Bones' ring and kind of like see what he could cook up.
That's what you're supposed to do before.
Going to make their own rings.
Scotty will invent the Starfleet Spectrum ring.
What?
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. So Uhura, of course, because she's now has like limitless untold power from the stars, she goes to her communications post and she hears a distress signal.
She literally hasn't done anything.
Nope.
She won't either. So then they Hal's like, I can get there faster, so just give me the coordinates and I'll put it in my ring and I'll go and I'll meet you there.
Okay.
And
he can go faster than warp speed?
yeah.
Oh.
Because he can teleport and stuff.
I guess because
in this reality. Yeah. But in any case, Kirk is just like, thank God that guy's off my ship. Like he never thinks before he acts. And then Spock goes, a concept of which I am entirely familiar with.
Yeah, that must be exhausting.
Yeah.
Hanging out with someone like that all the
Yeah,
time.
here's the world's smallest fiddle playing just for you, Cat. So meanwhile, at Starbase 12 in the Gamma 400 system, Atrocitus and Glaucon are like besieging the place with their like.
These two are doing a lot.
Yeah, they're busy.
Yeah.
They killed everyone in their government and then attacked the Federation directly.
They're actually doing something.
Yes.
Unlike everybody. Oh, here we go.
So then Sinestro and Chang, wielding the entire might of the Klingon fleet, attack Atrocitus and the Federation.
Is this always the mistake of the bad guys?
I know they never team up.
They just turn on each other.
They do.
Yep.
So as they start to fight, Hal Jordan and the Enterprise appear, along with Star Sapphire and Uhura.
Oh, see, Uhura's doing something. She's floating in space.
Look at her.
Look at her
Look
go.
at her going in space.
So
What a big trip.
Is she gonna punch
Wait,
someone or
Chekhov
something?
doesn't get to go?
no, Captain needs him at the helm.
Wait, why can't Sulu be at the helm?
He's also at the helm.
Chekhov has to work the weapon.
Yeah,
he's got to press the button.
He
to
literally
fire
says,
torpedoes.
Chekhov, you got to arm the photon torpedoes.
Yeah.
He's like,
Meanwhile,
I'm a living photon
Captain,
torpedo.
yeah, exactly.
Just tell the computer to shoot them.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
do you
understand.
need me
A
for?
guy
Ah!
to push a button.
Wait,
I know.
you have no one else who can fill this chair right now?
Yeah.
Nope.
No. So Sinestro uses the power of his ring and effort to infect the Enterprise and its crew with visions of their greatest fears, which knocks them all out.
Knocks them out
Yeah, they are overwhelmed
with fear.
with fear, and so they all pass out.
Okay.
So then Hal Jordan sits in the captain's chair and then creates a gigantic version
That's yes.
of the Enterprise. But he changes the ship designation because, of course, the ship's designation in Star Trek is the NCC 1701. Hal Jordan, of course, chooses the NCC 2814, which is his sector.
Oh,
First sector.
that's
There you
cool.
go. This is where he instead makes a gigantic Millennium Falcon, and he's just like, I was more of a Star Wars guy.
That would have been gold.
Nice. Too bad.
Meanwhile, on Vulcan, everyone who died
Starts to wake
starts to come up out of the ground.
See, if I were him, I would not do this, because they're all going to tell him this is illogical.
I know,
Being
yeah,
undead, this is illogical.
well, but they are compelled by Necron, so it's
Okay.
like they're powerful Vulcans.
Like, imagine Necron's like, okay, I should not have picked this
Yeah.
place.
So, Starfleet sends out a distress signal. Jordan answers. He's like, this is the Enterprise. Like, you got it. We got reinforcements on the way. And they just, it's just all out war. You got you got a bunch of different Starfleet vessels just opening fire on the Klingon, vessels and Chang and his forces and Atrocitus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Star
Glaucons.
Sapphire using a batleth?
Yes.
So who was doing something? She's shooting.
Atrocitus.
She looks like she's like, oh,
Oh, what?
what?
Yeah.
What is? No, I'm out of here.
Yeah, so then Hal Jordan immediately recalls Uhura. He's like, get the hell out of that fight. I need you on the bridge. So Jordan gives Uhura instructions to use her ring to wake everyone up because the opposite of fear is love or some shit. So
What?
she does.
What?
Or whatever.
No.
That's what she says. So she wakes everybody up. Everyone's ready to go.
Sweet.
Kirk is like, "Get the hell out of my chair, you weird dude."
Yeah.
And he says, "Sorry, it's comfortable." He goes, "Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm always sitting.
That's why I'm always in it. And you're out there."
Could use a seatbelt though.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Bones is of course working on
Still working
State Walker.
on. Yeah.
You know, but he's getting the hang of the ring, and he's making like these fun little like versions.
Moves?
Yeah, well, he's making basically like his mental projection of what medical technology should be at or something.
Oh.
That's my.
He's
reading of it more.
inventing on the fly medical technology constructs.
Yes, and because he's like, chief medical officer, he should know.
Yeah.
How it works.
All right.
Meanwhile, everyone's just fighting out in space. Jordan bails on the Enterprise to go fight them.
It looks like Larfleeze showed up too.
Oh
at
yeah,
some
no,
point.
well, he was with he was with the Romulan
When did the Romulans show up?
during the big battle.
Oh, okay.
They came too.
Yeah, you need all of the bad guys and their rings in this fight.
Yes.
And so they do. There's no thought that's put into it.
Right. Okay. I also want to like confirm the fact that like these guys just escape, all of them, from Necron,
Yeah.
and immediately the bad guys are like,
Let's fight the Federation.
Yes.
An organization I know nothing about.
and each other.
And each
because,
other.
Hey, we totally escaped Necron. There's no way
Yeah.
he get here.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
other
Even
lanterns
though
are represented
we
right
could
now.
all get here
Well,
separately by separate paths. There's no way Necron also got here.
Jordan does go outside to try and reason with Sinestro, and he's like, Necron's here, and he's gonna mess everything up. Sinestro, of course, immediately supervillains his way out of that by saying, like, "You think I fear Necron? Ha!"
Well, what are you doing here then?
I'm fear. He should fear me. I have the fear ring.
Yeah, so Sinestro's starting to kick Hal Jordan's butt when Jon Stewart, Guy Gardner, and Kilowog show up,
Now I'm in.
and they're like,
Jon
"Hey!"
Stewart's here. I love Jon Stewart.
Well, he plays virtually no role in this book
As
besides appearing in it.
usual.
That's right. At least he doesn't kill a whole planet. So,
Look, that happens.
while that big bullshit is happening outside, Spock, he's checking the sensor array or whatever, and he finds out that Vulcan's back.
Ah.
And he's like,
Oh, is he just
emotionally
always
compromised.
monitoring
Yeah.
for Vulcan?
Just in case Vulcan
I
comes
don't
back.
think so. Although oddly
Just
enough,
check out the empty space where Vulcan. It's back.
I knew it. I'm glad I keep keeping tabs on it. Kirk calls up on because Kirk, I guess, attunes the communications to their
Array?
Yeah, to their lantern frequencies, because like the rings can communicate with each other,
Right.
similarly to the way you can communicate through subspace. My guess is
He uses the reflector to just broadcast loudly out into space.
right. Well, that's not a good idea.
There's
because
no
what
air
if
in
there's
space.
Yeah. Well, also like
But
what
it
about-
also shoots air out as it's going.
It's
yeah. So they put Sinestro on the brig, and then they like all regroup.
What happens to the Orange Lantern, Larfleeze, and
Thorion?
Oh well,
Or Atrocitus?
Atrocitus,
Right?
Yeah, and the Gorn. I guess they just all get defeated off.
they're all
panel.
defeated off panel.
Okay.
Like you get to see Larfleeze
Look,
get
Sinestro is the real threat.
Well, I'll tell you this. You know who defeats Larfleeze? Uhura.
Oh,
Yay!
That's cool.
She does it
Oh,
with-
yeah, she wraps him up.
She wraps him up with some cute little
But
bands.
then she gets defeated as well.
No, that's Star Sapphire.
Oh,
she
really?
gets defeated by Sinestro.
Oh, okay.
So then Scotty shows up and he's like, "Well, I had the replicator whip up this thing, and so I want to test it out. Mr. Sulu, would you put this on?"
The replicator can make a lantern ring.
Well, yes. Scotty builds it outside the replicator. Like, well, he puts up the schematics and then he uploads it to the computer and then he
Yeah.
says, like, "Replicator, make this."
And he's
Make
like,
this thing I
make
built.
20 of them.
Yeah.
Well, they start with one because he's like, "I don't know if it's gonna kill whoever's wearing it, and I'll just hilariously pick Sulu to try it out." Sulu does, and he gets to be powerful. Like that's as far as it goes. Sulu has a personal force field. He can maybe fly, and he can shoot energy out of the ring. That is the.
But he looks like a white lantern.
He's a what? Yeah.
But he's not.
He's not. No.
They're like, we ran out of colors.
He is a Starfleet
Well,
lantern.
he's some combination of the powers of the other lanterns.
Yeah.
But it's a little different than an actual
Yeah.
white lantern ring,
Right.
I guess.
Hal Jordan does say, like, "So what's your plan now? You're gonna outfit everyone in the crew with one of these things?" And he's like, "Well, before we start with that, I want to see if this like gives Sulu cancer or something. Like, let's not."
Fair enough.
So then they arrive at Vulcan. They beam down onto the planet, and then they are faced with Necron, who is of course like resurrected everybody, including Spock's mom.
Oh.
And she's like, "Hey, like, come on." Come on, die with me, whatever. And, you know, I'm
Is
your
that
mom.
Winona Ryder impression?
Spock, come on. Just die, okay? So beautiful. Spock says, "You are the reanimated corpse of my dead mother. You are not my mother."
Right.
And she's like, "How could you say that to me? Come on."
I mean, look at me.
I mean, I am literally that,
But
I'm also
I am
technically
gross, but like, look beneath the gross.
and also die. So, you know, they get besieged by Black Lantern corpses of Vulcans when Saint Walker and Uhura and Chekhov and Bones like come to the rescue and just start like blasting re-dead Vulcans. Scotty decides to like just kind of like, Kirk orders Scotty to fire phasers at Necron, which he does. But of course, it doesn't kill him,
Right.
Because he's death or whatever, and so
He's just not that easy to beat.
yeah. So he's like, you can't kill me, and Hal Jordan keeps him at bay. Spock is of course like in this moral quandary with his mother. He's like, you're not my mother, and she's like, well, then how come you even killed me then? Like, how come you haven't shot your phaser at me? And he's about to do it when Jon Stewart shows up and he just blasts her.
there you go.
And he's like, there you go. I know something about the dead coming back and haunting you. Don't worry about
It's
that.
fine. I
pal."
got this. Don't worry, pal.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You remind me of a green guy I know.
Exactly.
Kind of.
So, they're talking about how, like, this is overwhelming. Necron keep bringing these characters back. You can respawn them. And so what are we going to do? And, they explain that, like, there used to be, like, a White Lantern character who could, like, absorb everyone's, like, spectrum powers, but, like, he's dead. So then Kirk just goes like, just make Spock do it.
That seems like something Spock would do.
So when Spock gets all Infinity Gauntlet, he gets to use his superpowers to pull the other rings that don't belong to the Star Trek characters from them. Of course, fortunately, there's a like all-out war between the orange, the red, and the yellow
It looks like
lanterns.
they're just in a circle shooting each other.
They literally are. It's like, I killed my, like, we're all unoriginal. And then Chang and the Gorn and the Romulan all lose their rings and then die in the cold vacuum of space.
See, the other guys are like, I'm not helping you.
Oh, bye. Pachoo.
Ooh, sucks to be you.
Yeah. And then Kilowog, Jordan, and Stewart fire the energy from their rings at Spock, who then absorbs all of the Green Lantern energy and then becomes the White Lantern and summons the White Lantern energy, who just literally vaporizes Necron.
Isn't it really bizarre that Spock, who is like such a like
emotional,
right, or like has his emotions so in check versus a Kyle Rayner style character, can do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason why Kyle Rayner was the White Lantern is because Jeff Johns marginalized him so hard that he had literally had no role to play. But because of like Ron Mars and DC Comics efforts for like a decade, Kyle Rayner was the only Green Lantern. So invariably he garnered a following and fandom. So it was like, well, how do we pay lip service to them while also making Hal Jordan the main Green Lantern again? I know, I'll make him this like heretofore never mentioned before White Lantern. So now that he's dead, we can make it Spock.
Right.
And it'll actually make more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the White Lantern kills Necron and then kills all of Necron's servants, and then everyone has to teleport before the White Lantern kills Vulcan again.
Right.
And so everyone gets back on the bridge just in time for Spock to re-watch Vulcan die.
And Kirk never got a ring.
No, he didn't. Spock and Kirk kind of acknowledge it at the end, because like basically Starfleet like fast tracks the whole like Starfleet lantern ring.
What?
So like everyone in Starfleet gets to carry like a ring of power.
Whoa.
Mostly it's the Starfleet security force, but like like screw phasers, y'all get rings now.
Yeah.
Oh no, that'd be great.
It's
I'm
way
sure that
better.
won't fall into the wrong hands.
Probably not in the sequel. Meanwhile, General Chang, we hardly knew ye. He just dies like an asshole in the middle of space. Not too dissimilar from his original end, but still. He doesn't even get to say any Shakespeare. It's kind of lame.
Damn.
What was it? Spock makes a comment about how, Kirk probably wasn't chosen for a ring because his character can't be summarized in a single color.
Oh.
That's very kind of you to say, Spock. And he says, well, I would simply mean that summarizing anyone's nature by assigning them a single color is fundamentally illogical.
Right. It doesn't make sense for any of them, actually.
Yeah.
It would
the
be
whole
green.
thing is really dumb.
It would be
naturally it would be
It
green.
would be green.
Of course! No, you know why he doesn't get the Green Lantern ring? Because you wanted him to. because you wanted to see Kirk get the ring.
So why don't you just show me what I want?
No. I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do a Star Trek Green Lantern crossover, something that no one in the history of anywhere has ever asked for, I'm not just going to hand over all the fan service.
Right.
Never mind the fact that I literally brought General fucking Chang into the book
Yeah.
as just nothing but ubiquitous fan service.
Yeah.
But whatever. So,
well, we gotta save that for the sequel.
right, which of course they invariably do.
Yeah.
And so like
So wait, does Hal Jordan just live here now?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, the book ends with
Well, they
Hal
just
Jordan
abandoned the DC universe?
It's dead.
It's
Necron
dead.
killed everybody, I guess, or whatever. We don't see like Superman or Batman or anything like that, but like, let's just assume that there's like a version of the DC universe where it's just the lanterns or something.
All
I don't
right,
know.
wait. Couldn't the White Lantern resurrect it? Or bring it
Yeah,
back?
isn't that
Or
what
fix
happened?
it?
Here's the thing. It would
So
if
I-
the DC universe died,
Yeah, like
but
what?
it's not.
But like,
because-
wouldn't like Hal be like, Spock, you man, my man, you gotta come with me.
Yeah, real quick, while you're still all white and stuff, like,
Yeah.
let's go back through the portal thing.
Nope, didn't
Maybe it's
do
a
it.
one-way trip.
What happens to
Maybe.
all those rings?
Oh, the rings that belonged to
Yeah.
them. They don't really get into it.
Oh.
Maybe they're destroyed in the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
They mentioned that they found the remains of the ones who would be despots,
Yeah.
but that's like the only closure you get.
Would they run out of issues?
My assumption is because like Spock collects all the rings that like they kept them.
Yeah, he's got him in his quarters.
Yeah. Along with like, you know, his bathrobe from his resurrection. Oh wait, that's a different Spock now.
Yeah, he hasn't.
No. So then that's it. It just ends. They could just the book.
It just
The
ends.
book
It
just
just
stops.
Well, it ends with Green Lantern because don't forget he's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm here.
Ah.
My job is to protect the universe, and I guess it doesn't matter which universe. The end.
I don't know anyone
does he,
here, and
does
I'm
he
all
do
alone,
his
but whatever.
oath?
He does, but like a version of both oaths.
Oh.
You know, he says like, here I am sworn to protect strange new worlds, new life, new civilizations, and boldly go by lantern's light where no one has gone before.
That's nothing.
No, that's
Yeah.
not an oath. That's not a closing. That's just stupid.
That's really weird. This book was really
just
fun,
smashed
and then
it
all
all
of a sudden
together.
it was like, all right.
I don't know what to
Well,
do.
I don't know what
Well-
to do, and I don't know how to close those. Maybe I shouldn't have had all of the bad guys get rings. Maybe I should have just stopped with Chang.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
gone from there.
done a-
But I also want to do the Spectrum War. Like, I want to do a whole thing
Why
with
don't you do the
Necron and White
Spectrum
Lantern.
War in the sequel you wanted to do?
Because I don't know if I'm
think
going
I was
to
gonna
get
get
another.
a
That's
sequel.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I might only get the one shot, so I got to do it all.
Yeah, except if you're going to do it all, then you give Kirk a ring and you don't end it with your three main antagonists dying in space like chumps.
Right, but I guess like Sinestro, Atrocitus, and Larfleeze are
Larfleeze.
still out there.
Yes, they are still out there.
Yeah, we
You
can
know,
fight them.
and could potentially be outfitting more
Larfleeze
nefarious.
is going to find the
groups.
Ferengi.
Right.
yes, that would be great.
That would be great.
They
if
like worship him as a god.
Yeah, they go to the
They've never
Ferengi.
understood such greed.
Yeah.
He could become the new Grand Nagus.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
That's the best idea, and I know they didn't do it. You know.
Yeah, the Borg would be great. Q
I would-
fighting with
Q.
Oh my
Lanterns
God.
would be
Yeah, that'd be
amazing.
great.
I would honestly like to see either like Hal Jordan or whatever deal with Picard.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just
Yeah,
like
because Picard would be like, "Get the hell off my bridge." Riker would be like, "Oh," like Riker would get a ring. He'd love it.
right.
What ring would he
Okay,
get?
Riker would
Green.
totally do the thing I wanted to have happen, where like Sapphire's there and he's like,
Aye. My quarters is just down this way. Troy's like, I'm sensing jealousy. Oh, it's from myself. Imzadi?
and then you have the whole thing like, could Data wield a ring?
Right.
Oh yeah,
That
what
is a
would he
great
get?
idea. It'd be really fun if he just immediately gets one and they're like, you know, Picard's just like a happy, proud father. Just like, well, Data, it looks like you
And Hal
have
Jordan's
found
like,
your humanity after
How
all."
is this possible?
Right, yeah.
And also, Data's more creative than Hal Jordan.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, because Data has more information and knowledge. Like he's like, I'll just pull up something from a long lost civilization.
Yeah,
And just
no,
there.
he'd wield the ring with like inhuman precision,
And
and
ruthless
he'd have
autonomy.
Well, and he'd have like thousands of constructs going simultaneously.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because he can process.
Trillion
Freaking
processes a
awesome.
minute or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be dope.
Like, yes, you have a lot of experience, Hal Jordan, but I'm a computer.
Yeah.
I can operate, seconds to you is like years to me. So,
Right.
yeah, this stuff is all happening faster than you can
Wait.
even
He doesn't
conceive
get a
of.
ring. And then they put in the emotions chip. And then he can wield a ring.
Which one would he wield?
I think the Green Lantern ring. I think
Okay.
his will is no. I guess it'd be like compassion or something. Because he loves Geordi so much. You know?
And Spot.
And Spot.
And Spot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. But don't forget, Geordi can't have a ring.
Oh, no.
Because
Why?
Geordi
He's
can't.
blind?
No,
He's
because
lame, and Geordi
I
always
love
gets
Geordi.
the shaft.
Geordi never gets to do anything.
No,
Fine.
you have to uphold the noble tradition in TNG of if you have an adventure which may feature Geordi, he has to fail.
He's like,
Or
no.
look like a douche.
Wait, he could get a Green Lantern ring because he's just basically Jon Stewart.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, what, because he's black?
No, because Jon Stewart killed an entire planet.
Oh.
Geordi didn't kill anybody.
No, but, you know, in
Sounds
terms
like
of...
something he would do.
KIDW in DC. Make it so. If you'd like to read this, it's in the description below. I'm sure you can find it for like a pittance. Because
It's got to be from 2009, right? That's when the...
oh
Cover
yeah,
Timeline
2009.
started.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Maybe 2010 actually. Now I think about it. Let me take a look.
Yeah, like the year after.
Yeah.
Maybe Worf could get the Red Lantern ring, but he has to struggle against it.
Oh, that'd be cool. That's a good.
yeah.
That's a good use of that character and trope.
Yeah, like trying to contain his rage, and
Yeah.
it's like even harder when he's got the
Yeah,
ring.
but his honor keeps it at bay. Like he's just such a great Klingon. Like he is the best of them.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. Make it so, DC and IDW, please. Make this happen. I'll put a link in the description so you can grab a copy of this one. I'm sure you can find it. Thanks a lot for watching this episode of Backers, everybody. I'm sorry that we did this one because it's so stupid. No.
No, it's fun. I had a good time.
It's fun.
a goofy story.
It's like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Well, because space.
It doesn't feel earned, I guess.
But like what intercompany crossover is, really.
That's true.
They're all creatively bankrupt, so why not this one?
Well, they don't give themselves time to like simmer and build.
No.
It's too bad that's in the Kelvin timeline because they couldn't beat God.
Well, then...
I mean, that guy is there, I guess.
Yeah.
He's chilling in the center of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Because all they did was change, like, what happened to Kirk.
Yeah.
What does God do with a power ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should fight that guy. That would be cool.
That would have been great. Yeah, General Chang. No, do the god of Shakari.
Yeah.
What? The god of Shakari would not do this.
Wow.
And then he becomes a Yellow Lantern or a Red Lantern.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, yes.
For too long, I've been imprisoned in this place.
Just vomits blood on them.
Yeah, just bring the ring closer. Excuse me. I'd just like to ask a question.
What does God need with the Ring of Power?
Who is this creature that stands before me?
Don't you know?
Aren't you God? Please, Hal, you don't ask the Almighty for his ID. Just asking a question. But you haven't answered his question. What does God need with a power ring? Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.